Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Professor Ming's Strategic Insights. On December the 15th, Mr. Jimmy Lai, the Hong Kong media tycoon, was found guilty of all 3 accounts in violation of Hong Kong national security law. The news came not only as a shock to the Hong Kong society, but also to the international community. Although the term of the sentence won't be handed down until January 2026, the ruling itself is a milestone in Hong Kong's legal system and is very likely to serve as a reference point in future Hong Kong national security cases. Mr. Jimmy Lai is widely known as a very successful Hong Kong businessman. He was a very successful businessman in fields like ladies' costumes and ladies' dresses and things like that. Somehow, after 1990, he entered the field of mass media. But actually, he was not born in Hong Kong. He was born in Canton, the capital city of the Guangdong province, southern province of China, in 1948, which makes him 78 years old as of now. And he entered Hong Kong illegally in 1960, and then he worked as an illegal worker at a very young age. After he reached the age of mid-30s and early 40s, he was very successful. Like I said, somehow he decided to do something more for the Hong Kong society. He entered into the mass media field. It was in 1990 he founded the Next Digital Group and the Next magazine. And he was so successful, and 5 years later, he established the newspaper, the Apple Daily. And it had the record of selling a little bit less than 1 million newspapers daily in Hong Kong, which made him the biggest newspaper in Hong Kong at the time. And it also gave him a wealth of well over $500 million US, and probably one of the top rich people in Hong Kong. After 2001, he expanded his media empire to Taiwan, and he created the Next magazine in Taiwan and also the Apple Daily in Taiwan. But he did not stop there, and perhaps we can say that's the beginning of his trouble in politics. In the year of 2014, he participated in the Umbrella Revolution and also the movement of occupying the central Hong Kong, and he got arrested. Then he resigned from the top post of the newspaper and also the digital group. But that did not put an end to his political trouble. In 2019, when Hong Kong's anti-extradition movement began, he went to the United States and met with the Vice President of the United States at the time, Mike Pence, and also Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, and which led him into later political trouble. He was arrested in 2020 and put behind bars for almost 5 years. And after a very long and tedious legal process, he was found guilty of all 3 accounts, all involving the Hong Kong national security law. Looking back, Mr. Lai's past 5 years can be roughly divided into 3 phases. The first phase ran roughly from 2020 to 2021. He was arrested for 3 times and then released, basically on minor accounts, not for the last time. And he paid 300,000 Hong Kong yen for bail for the first time, and then his assets of more than 50 million Hong Kong dollars were frozen, and but his travel documents were all confiscated by the government. But eventually, in early December, he was arrested on accounts of violating the national security law of Hong Kong's national security law, and his bail was denied. And while in custody, he was additionally charged with colluding with foreign or external forces to endanger national security of Hong Kong, which makes him the first violator of the national security law of Hong Kong. The second phase runs roughly from 2021 to 2022, when he was arrested for 4 times and found guilty of participating in illegal gathering for 4 times. The last one was again an illegal gathering in memory of the June 4th massacre in 1989, happened in Tiananmen. The last phase is the trials of Mr. Lai's violation of national security law, which ran roughly from 2023 to 2025. And again, like I said, it was on December the 15th, 2025. He was found guilty of all 3 accounts, 2 violations of the so-called colluding with the foreign or external forces, and 1 account of sedition. And he was accused of being the ringleader of all 3 cases. Despite of the fact that Mr. Jimmy Lai is found guilty by Hong Kong court, there remain several key points of contention. Point number 1, do news comments and visiting foreign political figures and call for sanctions constitute so-called collusion with foreign or external forces? Point number 2, Mr. Lai was tried without a jury, and which runs contrary to the practice of common law. And point number 3, all the judges in the court were appointed by Hong Kong governor, and which was, again, appointed by Beijing. So it was actually appointed by Beijing, and which is unfair in terms of the legal process. And point number 4, the provisions of the national security law are so vague and broadly defined, and also with a very low threshold of evidence, which put the defendant in a very disadvantageous position. The 4th point being that the boundary between speech and criminal conduct is, well, we can say redefined or even blurred. So in the future, this may have a chilling effect on the media, the editors, reporters, and people in the walk. As for the terms of the sentence, it is widely speculated that he could be in prison anywhere from 10 years to life in prison. That depends on how they judge the situation. In sum, Mr. Lai's case may have some negative impact in the future. First, there won't be any mass media in Hong Kong critical of Hong Kong's political, economic, or even social issues. And secondly, the editors, reporters, and journalists will probably practice self-censorship even more strictly. And lastly, since this case is widely concerned in the international community, so it will definitely have a negative impact upon relations between China and the Western countries, which may lead to some kind of economic sanctions in the future. Yes, President Trump has said something about it, and he said he mentioned the case to Xi Jinping and asked Xi Jinping to release Jimmy Lai because he's old and he's just a matter of speech and nothing of a criminal conduct. But President said, let's see what would happen. So he's not sure whether Beijing will release Mr. Lai or not. But anyway, we support Mr. Lai wholeheartedly, and we will continue to speak up for him, and hopefully that he'll be safe and out of jail and be free to do whatever he wants to do in the future. And like I said, we'll keep an eye on this case for in the future. And that's all I want to share with you today. I hope you like it. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the program, please do so and share it with your friends. And remember to click the icon bell. I'll see you next time.